5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
Tonight, local high schoolers are grieving an 18-year-old student after a deadly hunting incident. The Lincoln County teenager, Trent Bush, died over the weekend after another hunter and friend mistakenly shot him. Good evening. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. The teen was duck hunting in the Ted Shanks Conservation Area on Sunday. That's just south of Hannibal, about 100 miles north of St. Louis in Ashburn. 5 on your side's Christine Byers spent the day in Pike County to piece together exactly what happened.
Trent Bush was at the Ted Shanks Conservation Area in northern Pike County hunting ducks with friends when one of them fatally shot him. It happened at about 7:20 a.m. Sunday morning. Protection Division Chief Randy Doman of the Missouri Department of Conservation tells 5 on your side it appears to be a tragic hunting incident and nothing more. The Ted Shanks Conservation Area is 6,700 acres, and it's one of the most popular places for hunting in this part of the state. Thousands of people come here each year, mostly for waterfowl hunting. And we ran into some hunters this morning who said they had a moment of silence for Trent. The conservation area is about 110 miles northwest of St. Louis. The Pike County Sheriff's Department is also assisting with the investigation. Sheriff Stephen Cordy tells 5 on your side this was an accident with no malicious intent. Bush was a high school senior at Winfield High School in Lincoln County. In a Facebook post, Winfield School District Superintendent Rod Hamlet said Trent was a tremendous young man who will be sorely missed by our staff, students, and community. Jill Joler has been his principal for the last 2 years.
He would intentionally wear a baseball cap that he knew he wasn't supposed to wear, and he would put it on just in time for you to see it, and then you just kind of look at him and he would start laughing, and then he would take it off.
She says it's important to his family that something good come from this tragedy, so she wants to spread a message about safety.
He's a great young man doing what he loved, and we want to make sure that everybody gets to enjoy it in a safe fashion so that nothing like this ever happens again.
She says she called him her sunshine.
The Trent I knew just kind of made the building a better place. You know, you always have those students who, when they're not here, you know that they're not here because their sparkle isn't in the building. He was one of those kids where, you know, his presence is going to be missed for sure.
Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
And Christine just heard from Trent's mother an hour ago. She says, quote, he was with 2 of his close friends. Never in his life would he have been upset with his friend over this. We stand with the friends that were with him because that's what Trent would want us to do.
Developing in North County tonight, police are investigating a shooting that happened in a Blackjack neighborhood this afternoon. We're told they found a man shot in a front yard on Priory Brook Road around 1:45. He's now in the hospital. At this time, we don't know the extent of his injuries or who pulled the trigger. And police say they are not looking for any suspects.
Costly cuts could be coming to St. Louis County government.
The county executive says fiscal pressures could stall progress on demolishing or preserving problem properties. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, dug into what's behind these money problems. Mark.
Yeah, maybe your family budget is feeling that squeeze this holiday season. Well, turns out your local politicians are just like you. They're squabbling over how to stretch a dollar and where to skimp and save. And believe it or not, a surge of online shopping has a lot to do with it.
The popular trend of online shopping is putting a dent in the St. Louis County budget.
We are getting less and less from sales tax that we used to get a lot from. And because people choose to shop online, we are not capturing those purchases in our sales tax.
Now the county council faces a $40 million deficit.
Unfortunately, we're not like the federal government. We can't print money, so we have bills to pay and we have deadlines.
Republican Councilman Mark Harder says past administrations put off tough decisions for too long, kicking the can down the road.
We've been kicking this can for at least 5 years.
County Executive Sam Page proposed a blend of spending cuts and tax hikes.
Yeah, and then that's cutting into budgets. People already hard working, barely can pay their mortgage. Now here you go with these high taxes again.
County voters like Bobby Bostic said they're not seeing enough return on investment from the taxes they pay now. After the council countered with steeper cuts to Page's budget, the county executive said that might mean scaling back on demolishing problem properties or securing vacant homes.
Or as a taxpayer, then we want those houses fixed up. We want to know where the COVID money went and why it ain't going into these derelict properties, why they ain't fixing up our communities, because we got to see those things. And also we paying taxes also.
Page also warned passing the council's proposed cuts could complicate ongoing projects that rely on federal pandemic funds. Chairwoman Shalonda Webb was not thrilled with Page's letter. She called it disingenuous and retaliation. Page said, quote, "We're in this together and it's time to seriously consider sustainable and reoccurring revenue source." That meeting is tomorrow night.
Mark, thanks. A Florissant man is in jail for repeatedly stabbing someone with a machete. It happened a week ago at the Haven Inn and Suites in Hazelwood. The suspect, though, says the victim attacked him first. He claims the suspect sold drugs to his wife that killed her. The victim has multiple head injuries. The suspect, Terrence Kimbrough, is charged with assault and armed criminal action. The court set a $150,000 cash-only bond.
Tonight, Illinois lawmakers are calling on the health department to conduct a public health assessment on the impact of Cahokia Heights flooding. The letter says residents have struggled with flash floods, raw sewage in yards and homes, and potentially dangerous drinking water for decades. They cited a study from WashU that claims nearly half of Cahokia Heights adults are infected with a bacteria that can cause ulcers and gastric cancer. An apartment went up in flames this afternoon in North St. Louis. Thankfully, everyone made it out safely. Firefighters responded around 12:30 today on Goodfellow Boulevard, just outside of St. Louis County. We're told that the fire started in a kitchen. The smoke damage is so bad, the entire building is now uninhabitable.
Developing tonight, questions still linger around what caused a fire inside a vacant home in North St. Louis, but the flames revealed an even larger issue across our city. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay sat down with the fire chief, and she has more.
Flashing lights and fire crews took over Peck Street in North St. Louis early Monday morning.
They showed up and they had heavy fire involvement in the rear of the building.
As smoke continued to rise in the vacant building, they called in for additional backup since the surrounding homes weren't empty.
Big problem we had is we had 2 occupied structures, one on each side, which were heavily also involved from the fire of the main fire building.
Thankfully, St. Louis Fire Chief Dennis Jenkinson says the buildings around it were only moderately damaged and there were no injuries. But as the temperatures drop, they're getting these calls more often.
We've had about 6, 7 of them in the last couple of weeks.
The fire chief tells me it took crews well into the morning to put this fire out. Now, even hours later, you can see around me that caution tape still lingered with pieces of glass and even pieces of the building still on the ground. While the main problem here is a continued work in progress.
People seeking shelter, trying to, maintain some type of heat or warming, and they look for the vacant buildings.
And St. Louis has thousands of empty properties. That's why, after losing one of their own, the St. Louis Fire Department created a database to keep firefighters safe while they continue to work with the city about the larger issue at hand.
Hopefully it will improve the ability of the city to maintain a very controlled database and also get people to look at this database and maybe buy these buildings and start a renovation on them, which is what we're trying to push for, if you will.
As the days only get colder, Jenkinson believes this won't be the last flames they put out, which is why they need your help.
We need all the eyes of the neighborhood to help us make sure that we're able to keep the firefighters safe and also keep the people in the neighborhood safe.
In St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
And Chief Jenkinson wants to remind everyone to be especially careful this time of year inside your home. He's urging everyone to check your smoke detector, and you can always call the fire department if you need a new one installed.